Hello there, everyone. So let's go into Lindon in this case. By the way, I'm postponing the Dwarves of Khazad-dûm because I have a different campaign. So that will be the last one that I'll analyze, basically. So let's check out on the Grey Havens of Lindon faction on this time. Basically, I can already tell you that it's a very long campaign just because of this. I mean, from here they gotta go to Shadow of Mordor. Just that, it's impossible. I mean, the previous this has been toned down a lot because it previously was like 60 regions, and they had to take care of Umbar as well. It was the longest campaign. Of course, you will still have fun with it, but I mean, if it's such a long campaign, you might as well just conquer the whole map or something, you know. But on this case, you know, getting rid of Mordor, getting rid of Isengard, we'll show you. Let me click the start button. I don't know why I selected very hard there. Of course, I'm not going to play. This is just a little bit of a faction overview to review, guys. I just check in terms of a brief overview. Then I go into the military, finances, and generals and agents. I previously had, you know, advised army compositions and such. I decided against it just to keep it short and simple. Just a few, you know, basic insights into the faction. So here we go. Let me get rid of these. So basically, this is the rich elves, okay? That's how I want you to think about it, because they start with, as you can see, the golds there, and there's also golds over here. Yeah, there we go, which belongs to this place. So basically, they start with good options to make money, either by trade. You know, you're going to see the difference that happens with the roads. I mean, come on, it immediately provides you 400. This is just domestic, almost, because I still don't have anything. And you still have the mines providing 600. So, you know, this means that you will get a lot of income from both sources, which usually in some factions you don't even have one of these. I mean, Bree doesn't have a lot of access to mines and doesn't get a lot of money from building roads or anything like that. So this is really important that you start building up. I mean, my advised initial one is these mines and these roads, because these roads provide the greatest amount of income there. It's almost 600 of income, you know, just by building roads, and of course you're building roads. So this is my starting early turn. I would get a diplomat, by the way, as well. This is how I started previously and worked perfectly in order to get good income and all that stuff. You also start with a navy, and on the first 10 turns you actually don't need it. You know, I just placed it here, you know, to kind of cover it covers all of my ports and all of my trade, and makes sure that, you know, nothing passes through you. So you can kind of rid of a couple of them if you don't want to pay the upkeep, but that's also fine. I wouldn't advise getting rid of everything because that's already a very powerful admiral, as you can see there. It's a 6-star admiral. Don't underrate it. So in terms of the faction, let's go. I already spoken that this is the very rich. These are the very rich elves. You know, they start off. That's how you have to consider them. That said, they do have in terms of victory condition, I already said, it's a very long campaign. I mean, you have to get rid of Mordor and the Dominion of Isengard. By the time that you arrive on Isengard, they would already be either destroyed by Rohan, or they would be conquering Rohan. So they would either be completely destroyed, or they would be very powerful. And if they are destroyed, Isengard won't be theirs, and you need it for your faction's victory condition. So there's some decision making to do there. You know, there's some decision making to do there. And by the way, by my experience, if Isengard is taken, they will immediately try to launch an invasion. Mordor will try to launch an invasion there. So it ain't easy. It ain't easy. I'm gonna tell you that. It's not like you can simply pick up all your units and just go there. That won't happen for a long time. So you have a very easy start. You have good picks nearby. I mean, you have one place right here, one settlement right here, that usually they will request you on the first missions, the first assignments. And then you have Baradur, Buzradum. I'm sorry, not Baradur. So Buzradum here is really important. It has like a mine that provides 900 income, so go for it. I mean, I captured it with just the initial units. By the way, you don't need anything else. I brought the additional artillery archers and not the swordsman. I would advise getting the swordsman unless you're willing to lose a couple of units here and there with the generals. Do remind that this general can only go up to 77 due to the guides from this mod. You know, it reaches if it drops below 77 men, it will then regain units until it arrives to 77. There's no possibility of going higher than that. That's a mod situation. So you have some good picks nearby. You have to be wary of some ambushes on this area. So I wouldn't advise going over to this area before perhaps capturing Buzradum there. And then you don't have any forts. And by the way, I want to point out why that's very nasty, because this, let's check out this guy. It's a very decent guy and has Mithlon nobles that cost 850 in upkeep. You've heard it. That's almost 1,000 in upkeep. Of course, it's a very good unit, but still, the biggest problem with this is that there's no forts, and you're not going to be able to recruit that very soon. So you're going to have to face this 850 upkeep for a long time. That's why I would advise always to get this faction leader. Come on, take advantage that he's one of the top faction leaders there is. I think there's another one which has 10 commands, and he also is a night fighter. So come on, this guy is never going to be a bad guy in battle. So get this guy into the fray, get him conquering some places, because it's better than having him just stationed there and doing basically a little bit of growth. That's not going to be as important as making sure that you always get the captures that you want. And of course, if trouble arises, come on, you can always rely on a very powerful unit there. So take Buzradum, no forts, and now let's talk about the military roster. So you've already seen that they are quite good, but let me check the building browser. Let's go here. In terms of stables, by the way, you can get the Teleri Riders, which are already good medium cavalry. I mean, these are good, but you can still see the upkeep. It's pretty high, 714. It's pretty high for that, and it's not like they're really good against other cavalry or anything. Even though they have lances, it doesn't provide any good bonus. They do have a wargs bonus, which is kind of nice, but it's not like you're going to face a lot of them either. So kind of mixed on this. Of course, you then have the Alderinian lances, which use them against anything. 12, 13, 30, it's like amazing, but the upkeep is painful. That's pretty much the story. By checking just the stables, it's pretty much the same story in everything else. I mean, you're going to have the army barracks, and by the way, in order to get the Mithlon nobles, you're going to need the army barracks. So you're already seeing that in order to get that free upkeep from that general, it's going to take a while. So these guys, I mean, check the recruitment cost in upkeep. It's just incredible. Then you have the Teleri swordsmen. These are very good medium infantry, even heavy infantry, and they are available from the start. Then you have the Lindon long spears. Do note, against mounts and armor, so they are very high purpose infantry. With a 400 in upkeep, it's really nice. They have the Lindar Mariners. I really don't know their basic function. I mean, they're really cool in the attack, but with this upkeep, I don't know if I would go for them. I would rather have more of these guys, just for the, skilled against mounts and effective against armor. But oh well. Then you have the Sinda Spearmen. Can make shield wall, skilled against any mounts, 12, 24. These are the basic spearmen that you will have in the late game. Then you also have Sinda Guards, which is a pikeman unit. Same thing, skill against mounts, and they can form a spear wall. Then you have the Elderwindi. The Elderwindi, I don't know how to spell that, guys, but Elderwindi, it's kind of like the elite units, of course, of these guys. So you have the Spearman, 1433. Come on, these are really cool. Then you have the Swordsman, 1926. The only thing that I don't like is that they don't have, anti-armor capabilities, even though that I don't know if that would be necessary. Just to note that compared to the Mithlon nobles, like 1926 and the upkeep 630, I would go for them. I mean, they have about the same attack, less defense, but come on, much cheaper units. So it's kind of like getting a couple of these on your armies, that would be nice. But these would be, you know, pretty basic to have there as well. You can have a mix, of course. And finally, let's check the ranges. So, of course, you have the Teleri Archers, which in itself, it's already a very good unit in the beginning. It's very high in upkeep and recruitment cost, and unfortunately has the average accuracy. If they had the very high accuracy or the high accuracy, I would love it. With the average, I gotta say, avoid having these too many of these guys. I know in the beginning, of course, you're gonna need some archers, but I can already tell you that they do their work, but it doesn't feel like an Elven faction archer unit, you know. I would very much try to get, you know, the upgrade into the Cinder archers as fast as you can, because these guys, yes, they have the high accuracy and the better range and missile attack, and of course the other wing, which are the elite ones, which have a very high end range of 210. I mean, two of these guys are better than like four of these guys, that's for sure, you know. So do consider that, and you can see that the upkeep, it's not double, so you know, double would be 660. So consider that, you know, consider that, guys. Then we also have catapults and ballistas. That's basically it. You will also have access to the smiths of a region, which I'm afraid I cannot show you because it doesn't show up here in any place, by the way. Yeah. Nevertheless, you know, you have all the buildings that you need. You can recruit the Father's Lords, which is your bodyguard unit. Skilled against mounts at 1535. I mean, just use these guys against anything. It's crazy. They will take losses, but they will kill anything so fast you don't even realize until they're all dead. Right. So that is a take in the units. What is the situation? So they lack some anti-armor, as they have like one unit, and it's the spears, which are vulnerable to archers, so careful. And then you have the highest upkeep and cost that I have ever seen. I mean, every single unit costs around 1,000 in gold. I mean, I had very good units in Bree that were cheaper than that. That were cheaper than the basic army here. It's probably one of the best rosters there is. I mean, it is certainly well fitted to face anything. But they don't have cavalry archers. That's something that I sometimes like to have. They're good at harassing. They're good at approaching the enemy catapults and stuff and avoiding them. You can find a lot of uses for these guys, and unfortunately they don't have them. So that will be it. In terms of early finances, I've already explained. These are the two buildings that I advise, the mines in London Tharden and the roads here. It can go with others. Of course, I would always advise getting the Hall of Song for the free upkeep unit, so that you can be sure that, you know, at least you won't be paying for these guys. By the way, these guys are Fallas Lords, and they also have an upkeep of 300. So by building that, you actually get an upkeep free unit, which will be the Fallas Lords. So it's kind of like building a building that provides you 300 in income. So it's very average early, and I'm going to explain the overall finance is average early because you get to recruit nothing. I didn't recruit anything. I didn't need. You know, you only need these archers. Trust me. You only need these archers. Send them all to this guy and just start conquering these places. Specifically aimed for Buzzer Doom. You gotta get it. But there are no forts. There's nothing that can, you know, help you out on that. I mean, you will need to get up until here to even get one fort, I believe. So, you know, that's gonna take a while. So be careful on how many units you recruit. That's my take on it. So you don't have an early spy. This is very important. You do not have an early spy, which means that you will always have to construct the vineyard. I mean, it's only 2 turns and 1,000 gold, but in the beginning you really don't want to spend that. So what I would advise is try to see if one of the places already has that capability and then recruit there. If it doesn't, then build it. You know, you don't really need the spy early on. I can tell you that I did like this. I moved this guy away, and with this guy I started just setting up watchtowers. There's no problem of leaving the place open because there's no one that is going to attack you. That's the best thing about this, as I said, is an easy start. There's not going to be a big battle anytime soon. So yeah, it's cool. Now, In terms of diplomacy, let me just remind you that you're allies with Breland and Realm of Imladris, and pretty sure that the dwarves will ally with you very soon. They didn't in my campaign, but I kind of messed it up because I asked for the alliance before asking for maps, which usually would raise their opinion of me, and then they would ally. So, do the other way around, and that'll be fine. So that is my take on Lindon. Certainly a very interesting campaign, but it's a different type of Elven campaign. It's an Elven campaign with a very much relaxed start, guys, which usually doesn't happen. Man, my camera was dark all this time. Okay, now it's better. Now that I'm going away. All right, thank you guys for watching, and I'll be reviewing Realm of Imladris tomorrow. So, bye bye, guys. Cheers.